Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Man and Man Sports Podcast, and I'm your host, Mr. Man. I'm back with my guy, Nate.
Oh, you know it.
What up, world?
Hey, back like I never left. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You know how we getting it, man. You know we gonna make it do what it do, brother. Hey, man, there's a lot going on in the NFL world today.
Playoff time, my guy.
I'm gonna shoot you some of these scores. What's going on right now, so you kind of be up to date with it. Let me see. Let me pull them up real quick. All right. Wild card. I'm gonna go over those games and then we're gonna kind of break them down a little bit. All right. So, the Texans beat the Chargers.
Very surprised about that.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know. I just the Chargers. I mean, under Harbaugh, I think they did pretty well.
Yeah. First season. Yeah.
He escaped the Chargers and came there. And then it just kind of correlates, right? The Chargers. It just kind of correlates, right?
I should have known. I should set my own self up.
32-12, the Texans won. The Steelers and the Ravens. Now, I will say this: it's 28-14, but that game really wasn't that close. I mean, that Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, man. I think
that's a dynamic duo.
Hey, Derrick Henry running the ball. That's a house coming straight for you.
You better move out the way, bro.
You like, and that offensive line blocking too.
I'm talking about really.
And so that was the biggest thing that I seen. I was like, man, this is their year. They should win it this year. You know, I'm just going ahead and saying that the Bird, that Raven need to come on down. You know what I'm saying? They should win it this year. And I think he gonna get his third MVP. I don't see why not.
Look, I ain't got nothing to say against that. I'm actually agreeing.
I don't see why not, man.
I'm actually agreeing.
Hey, them boys. I don't see nobody doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just too prolific. So we'll move on to the next one. The Broncos and the Bills. The Bills won 31-7. Bills gonna be the Bills. They lost 5 straight in the Super Bowl. I mean, they're gonna be whatever.
It's actually 4 straight, but
whatever. If they go this year, they'll be 5. You know what I'm saying? And then the Packers versus the Eagles. The Eagles won 22-10, which that was a defensive game. I watched that game. It was a defensive struggle. I give it up for their kicker, man. The kicker came through. He kicked like 4 field goals.
Yeah.
So the kicker came through. Now the only thing I got about the Eagles is Jalen Hurts, cool. You know, Barkley, you know, Saquon, we all know his ability. Like, it's extreme ability.
Right.
But that was a hard-fought game. Their starting linebacker, I think it's Noel Dean, is out for the rest of the playoffs. So I think that's a big hit because he's like the quarterback of the defense, right? So I think that's a big hit for them. I just don't see it. You know, I got Saquon Barkley on the offensive end, so anything can happen. But
they're playing Buffalo, right?
Their next game?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. They're playing the Rams. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go through that in a minute. I catch up with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. And then, so we'll come back to that one. All right. I want to get your thoughts on that too. So the Commanders, which is surprising everybody, with the college offense. You know what I'm saying? You know, they was calling the college offense. You know what I'm saying? The boy is doing his thing. Now, granted, it's against the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, which is.
But they've been pretty. That was a solid team.
They've been all right.
Yeah, Buccaneers is a solid team.
So the Commanders won 23-20, and then the Rams pretty much destroyed the Vikings, which is surprising.
I'm very surprised about that game
because the Vikings this whole year they've been pretty much the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though they had a little hiccups here and there, but they was pretty much the guy. So that tells you, man, when the playoffs get here, it's something different.
Yeah, that's just a fact. But the Rams are gelling at the right time, and they got some playmakers on there. And they got a veteran quarterback who's been doing it for a while. So.
Yeah. So this the lineup for the divisionals. We got the Texans versus the Chiefs. We got the Commanders versus the Lions.
Woo, that's going to be a good game.
We got the Rams versus Eagles.
That's going to be a good game.
We got the Ravens versus the Bills.
That's going to be a good game.
So I'm going to go ahead, since I'm reading them out, I'm going to do my picks.
Okay.
Right? I think Ravens going to beat the Bills, obviously. And then I got the Rams beating the Eagles.
What?
obviously. I mean, the Rams are my favorite team. So
I don't know about that one.
I am so wondering about your confidence on that.
He's a Lamar Jackson fan, so that's.
What you talking about? The Ravens versus the Bills?
Yeah, he's.
Oh, what you talking about? Man, the Bills. Okay, all right.
On the scale of 1 to 100, where do you think the Bills have the chances of them even winning?
A scale of 1 to 100?
Yeah.
0. You must have forgot who you was talking to.
So you're totally confident that
this is a Baltimore Raven fan.
Yeah,
So he got confidence in
that
this
game.
team.
Hey, I ain't saying it's gonna be a blowout, but I think they ain't gonna be able to handle Lamar Jackson. And I think Lamar Jackson is like I got something to prove. He got that he got that weight on his shoulder.
Now look, the boy is balling.
Yeah.
I mean, Derrick Henry made all the difference this year for them. Them boys are. Lamar Jackson is looking very scared right now.
Commanders versus Lions. I got Detroit in that one. I don't see the Command. I think they train stops there. Chiefs versus Texans. I got the Chiefs just because of they even if they have a bad game, they still find some way to win.
They find a way, yeah.
So that's my lineup. Mr. Mann, who you got?
I mean, for the most part, I agree. But I'm actually going. The only thing I disagree with is the Rams and the Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles.
I just don't see.
Cause they still got the number 1 defense in the league. So.
Yeah, but that defense was on skates. I'm trying to tell you, I watched that game. That defense was on skates now when Noah Dean went out. He's that quarterback, so they was able to kind of band-aid it, but a full game.
Yeah, I still think they got the scheme to, because of the simple fact they still able to pressure the ball. Although and Matthew Stafford is not necessarily mobile, and I think if they can, the running game is not that good either. So I think they got a little bit of advantage if they can control the running game, which they will. I think and limit their receivers because they pretty what I don't think. Outside of what a guy named number 17, Noku or not, I can't think of his name.
Don't get me a second. I'm so messed up.
But the boy ball though.
Yeah.
The boy ball though.
That boy good.
He definitely good. But it's just really going. And I say this all the time. It's really going to come down to who make the less mistakes, who make the most plays.
Least, gotcha.
So I think the Eagles going to be able to do that more than the Rams.
Okay, so we gonna since it's almost the same, identical. That you picked after me, but I went first, and
I already had them picked in my league, man.
With that with that being said, who you got as a favorite to win the Super Bowl?
Ooh,
I already told you my favorite.
Nah,
and why? And why?
I mean, to me, who I think is going to actually make it, I really do believe the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to three-peat. I think Baltimore.
Okay, tell me something I don't know.
I think the Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions are actually going to make it.
But just what if?
Huh?
What if?
What do you mean? What if?
If the Chiefs were like go Super Bowl for a third time?
It depends on who they playing. It depends on who they playing.
I got Baltimore against the whole field.
Because if they play like Detroit, Detroit's tough. Detroit got some ballers on their team. I just can't see Kansas City dominating like that. But I think Detroit and Baltimore are gonna make it to the Super Bowl, and that's gonna be a great Super Bowl.
So you ain't picking nobody. That's what I'm hearing.
I know it's kind of early to even say who.
Oh, it's never too early.
It's either the Ravens.
They do that week 1. Who's the favorites?
Ravens or the Lions. But I've been riding the Lions for a couple of years because I told you they was gonna be the team in improve, and they have. Proved me right the last 2 years. However, I'm just a little bit skeptical about the Super Bowl because the Ravens have been they kind of in the same boat. But I think the Ravens have what it takes to get over the hump now. With that running game, I think they have what it takes to get over the hump. So I'm slightly going with the Ravens to win the Super Bowl.
I feel like, man, you might as well just say, hey, I just agree with Josh. I mean,
come on,
with
man.
Nate. I mean,
Well, at least in my opinion, I think if the Ravens were to make it to the Super Bowl, that would be impressive. Because when's the last time they even seen the Super Bowl appearance?
Ray Lewis.
Yeah, they won in recent years, more recent years. The Ray Lewis last year they won. It's I don't know, man, but I the reason I'm a little hesitant because all these teams are good. The teams that's remaining are good.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be every team downfall. Just rip them off. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be their downfall against the Ravens. I tell you. So Chiefs, been there, done that. I think they lack motivation. I
You don't think
I think it's one of those things that it starts to bear down on you, and I think
you don't think winning 3 straight is motivation?
nah.
No,
I mean, you talking about guys that get paid meals. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's kind of like, and then they're getting older. I think it's a lot of strain on them. You know what I mean? So I think from that standpoint, and if you look at this whole year, one thing I can say, and I respect the Chiefs, they know how to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all their wins have been, I mean,
they've been grimy wins.
Grimy. Like it ain't been pretty.
Yeah,
and I think that's gonna catch up with them.
Yeah,
it's like the one that they just barely get one off.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Commanders, they just hot and new. They really the Vikings of the playoffs, because that's where I felt like the Vikings was supposed to beat the Rams. I felt like
I agree with that.
In an all perfect world, but it just didn't show up. So I'm like, okay, all right, bam. So the Commanders, I feel like take their place. So it's just they're a new team in a new spot.
But they've been resilient, man. They have shown some resolve this year, man. They've been tough.
It's playoffs, man. Everybody.
They've been tough, man.
It changes. Now the only team that I'm a little skeptical about is the Lions. I feel like the Lions are they can do it. You know what I'm saying? I think they can put it together and be it. That's the only team. The Eagles injuries gonna beat them up. Who else? Who I'm missing? The Texans ain't gonna make it, so it ain't gonna really matter.
Well, and that's the reason I want slightly my heart wants the Eagles, but because of the recent injuries, that it's the playoffs are the wrong time to have injuries. You know what I mean? Because it's one and done. It's not like you can recover, and you made 2 or 3 games you can come back. But this is one and done. So, and with the injuries going on, I don't think the Eagles will have enough firepower to go on.
Because if you, well, I'm put it like this: when I watched the Eagles game, they didn't really throw any passes deep. They ran for the most part. RPO somewhat.
Yeah, I think they was trying to protect Jalen a little bit.
Yeah, but when you get into the point of when you play like the Ravens, they always had a premier defense, right? So they're going to have the cornerbacks. They're going to have the outside linebackers. You know what I mean? They coming, right? And I think you get to a point where you're going to have to air it out. They haven't really showed that ability to really air it out with Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Because when they won, what they did, they had that run, and they was able to air it out.
Yeah.
What was Nick Foles?
Yeah.
When they won? Like, he was airing it out, right? So I think that's another step that, Jalen Hurts going to have to show me, you know what I mean, from that standpoint. That's why I just not going with them. But the Lions are more of I feel like a complete team.
Yeah, almost definitely.
You know what I mean? So that's what kind of.
Well, they run the play action fake so well because they got a great running game and they got a great receiving core, and the defense is awesome. So it's
No. The Lions was in the Super Bowl last year, right? What was it in?
It was
the year before.
The Lions went in the Super Bowl.
What was it? The year before?
The Lions went in the Super Bowl.
They were.
No.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. They was divisional.
They was a game away from the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because I know their coach said, "Man, it's gonna be hard to get back here." And sometimes I be thinking that just be like some BS talk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
nigga, look what it.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, this is what's gonna separate the Ravens from everybody. It's because now that they have Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, once he gets out of that pocket, he can make plays out of that pocket now. You know, you know what I'm saying? Because
he keep everything in front of him, and he's not always looking to run.
And he's not really trying to force plays anymore. Trying to make that play. If he got to run, he's gonna run. If he's not gonna take the loss.
And he gonna kill you with the ad libbing. Like as in,
I mean,
the broken down plays.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
To be honest, 5 seconds, 5 to 8 seconds. Your DB, you can't ask your DB to defend longer than that, right? You know, cause now you just out there playing playground, backyard football. You know, so at that point, he makes it very difficult.
Well, a part of that too was helping him out. He has a receiving core that's helping him as he's making those plays. As he gets out of the pocket, those receivers are making themselves open so he can make passes to him. And that's
the tight end, man. That tight end is clutch.
That's a sign of a dangerous team because they're reading each other. They're playing off each other off broken plays, and that's the dangerous team.
Rashad Bateman, you know what I mean, he coming into his own. You know, so they got a couple of, you know, go getters on that receiving core. So it's. No, we're not talking about the Panthers. No, we're not.
Please don't bring them up.
Please.
I am not going to bring up the Panthers, but there was one team that I don't know if you guys even mentioned, the Rams.
Yeah, we mentioned them a little bit, but go ahead.
I mean, they have potential, but I don't think they're gonna beat.
I don't think they'll get past it.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna beat Philadelphia. Although he thinks they will.
Nah, they're gonna beat Philadelphia.
No, I don't think so.
But they ain't gonna. Who do we play then?
The winner out of Detroit and Washington. Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna beat Detroit though.
Yeah, because like Detroit's like too much of a powerhouse.
Yeah,
Detroit's very tough.
The Rams are gelling together, and I think the Vikings had a lot of internal stuff going on too. But you know, but since we're talking about the NFL, I'm gonna bring it up. You know, people talking about it. It ain't official. You know what I mean? Whatever. But what you thinking about with Dallas and Deion Sanders being a potential target, Mr. Mann?
I think he should stay in Colorado, man. I think he should stay in Colorado.
Yeah, because that would be kind of interesting, you know, to have for a, you know, prime time actually coach a NFL team.
It'll be great for media. Because, but that's what it's going to turn into, and that's what part of Dallas's problem. The big tobacco of the media of being the, you know what I'm saying? It's just being the show. There's no discipline.
One thing I will say this: 2 headstrong people, it ain't gonna work. Jerry Jones, Deion Sanders, ain't gonna never work out. I mean, they could talk all day and say what they want to say, but Jerry Jones gonna run his show like he been doing, and Deion Sanders gonna want to run his show, and they gonna butt heads at some point in time. I think Deion Sanders is, you know, if he finds a good organization like Raiders or somebody that's gonna let him do him, then yes, you know what I'm saying. But outside that, he should go to Florida State.
You believe that they can be like 2 gears, well-oiled gears, and just run together?
No.
Jerry Jones like to have too much say.
When the last time Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl?
Last time they beat them Bills.
How many
they beat them.
How many times have you seen Jerry Jones pay his players extremely well and they amount to nothing?
Can't recall.
What do you mean can't recall? He just paid 3 of them. I know at least.
Dak.
Yeah. So
what
You mean like in recent history or just?
Yeah, recent.
Well, not well. I really can't say.
So what I'm getting at is, it's one common denominator that has always been there over these freaking 40 years. That's Jerry Jones. Everybody else has been switched out, replaced, or whatever. But the one common denominator is Jerry Jones. And they haven't won a championship. So it's certain things you got to reevaluate yourself. I'm big on that, you know, where you need to look inside out, right? You know, before you start changing up, firing people and stuff like that. Because at a certain point, you got to be like, okay, all right, maybe I need to hire somebody to do this job. You can still be the owner, but maybe I need to hire somebody to put them in certain situations and do this and do that. Because they'll have like one good year, and then they'll go back.
Yeah.
Like, so it ain't nothing that's like consistent. and they haven't been consistent. Everybody know it's bad when you look at the Dallas Cowboys and be like, "Oh, we definitely ain't worried about them." Oh, season? Yeah, we gotta play them, but we ain't looking at them to do nothing. And then everybody get happy every once in a while. All the Dallas Cowboy fans come out. Oh my God, we're gonna do great things, and they do nothing.
There's a standard of the Cowboys that's not being upheld, and it don't look good. Every time y'all have the potential to have a great season or make it to the Super Bowl, and
Don't say y'all, cause I ain't.
I'm talking about the team.
Oh, okay. I was just throwing it out there.
and then they underachieve, and it's crazy that you have that much talent. Cause CeeDee Lamb is a beast, and it's crazy that y'all can't find a way to get that man the ball.
I feel like it's just so much turmoil within the organization that talent can't overshadow. I like the way I put that. That was pretty good right there. Like, hey, y'all might need to rewind that, play that again. I'm just saying, like that was some official stuff right there.
Y'all don't entertain that. Don't entertain
Bring it
that.
on, baby.
Don't entertain that.
Bring it on, baby.
Don't entertain that.
Bring it on.
We're just using this. Just doing that very loosely because that sounded, I don't know.
First of all, don't ever say loosely again. Hey, throw that word out of your vocabulary. I don't even want to hear you say that no more.
This man.
Because whenever I say loosely, I'm like, we're not taking that seriously at all.
But yeah, man, I do think, to be honest, I really do think Lamar Jackson, to get back on these playoffs, can be the face of the league. I know a lot of people talking about Mahomes and stuff and him winning and stuff like that, but I really think Lamar Jackson can. And I think he earned the right.
Let me ask this question, and it's probably going to be a little bit political. Do you think Lamar Jackson is not the face of the league because of image?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. He slugged up. You know what I'm saying? You know how that go.
The grill and the afro.
Yeah. Like I think you have to be somewhat, you know what I mean? You have to play in between those lines.
Yeah.
Like, but you can have your own style, but you can't take it a little too far over.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But
he humble with it though. You know.
Yeah. He don't do nothing crazy. That's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah.
But I do think, you know, he can be. He just missing this one piece.
Yeah.
You know, if he can win a chip, I feel like that'll change. You know what I mean? I feel like that'll.
Yeah.
You know, he can he got everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that'll change some perspective. And now I would just want to put a PSA out there. For all the scouts, all the analysts, all the critics that said that this man need to go play another position, he need to be fired. I want to see all y'all itineraries. I want your IDs, copies faxed in to me. Not emailed scanned, not even mailed. I want them faxed in to me. You know, call my number, 1-800. You don't know what you talking about. Because my thing is this. How you going to talk about, oh, this guy can't do this. He need to play wide receiver and stuff like that. And then, oh, look at this. We fast forward in the future. Now, this man has been one of the best.
2 MVPs, possibly a third.
Yeah, best quarterbacks in the league. You know, I would just like to. I feel like you should be reprimanded. That's what I feel. Like I feel like disrespect. You know what I mean? I feel like you should be fined.
Well, the man's been balling. I can't go nothing against Lamar. He is arguably the best player in the league in the last several years.
Before we go, I want to talk about. Well, I don't really want to talk about, but I want to get your perspective on the Falcons. 'Cause I know a lot of people watch the show. They're fans of the Falcons, so we're gonna bring them up for the fans. What is your what is your perspective on the Falcons, where they're at right now, the culture? Can you give us just a little bit of a synopsis of the Falcons and everything, and what they got going on? And do you like it? Do you like the improvement? Do you see improvement? Like, what are your feelings on the Falcons?
First, let me throw this disclaimer out.
Uh-huh.
I don't speak for all Falcon fans, but this is just my opinion. But I'm a Georgia boy through and through, of course, and I'm always going to be Falcons fan.
Uh-huh.
yes, there were some improvements this year, and yes, they look pretty good at times. My problem I'm gonna have. This is the only problem I have.
Uh-huh.
We blame Kirk Cousins for a lot of what's going on, but for a minute there, he gave us a glimmer of hope. Because the Falcons, they got their record. They have improved and they was looking pretty good until he started throwing all of them interceptions and they started losing. Now my guy Penix, he looks great, but that was only 3 or 4 games going into the
Small sample.
small sample.
Gotcha.
Now the telling of what we're gonna look like is the next year, and when he finally starts, the first 4, 5, 6 games, that's gonna be telling. Because if we're talking about improvement and he does that over the next course of the year, then yeah, we're gonna be looking pretty good. However, if he starts playing bad, then we're gonna be questioning, should we stay with Kirk Cousins? You know what I mean? And that's kind of always what's been going on with the Falcons. Ever since Matt Ryan got in there, he played great, had a terrible few seasons. They got good, won MVP, went to the Super Bowl, and had a terrible breakdown in the Super Bowl. But after that, Falcons ain't
terrible second half.
Well, yeah, they had a terrible second half. But after that, they haven't been the franchise everybody expected them to be until this year. So it's kind of, with the Falcons, it's kind of wait and see kind of thing. And I hate to say that because we don't know what he can actually do over the course of the season. But it's kind of wait and see kind of thing.
Do you think that the head coach was the right hire?
Oh yeah, I like him. I like him. I thought when he was at Tampa Bay, he went through some growing pains, and when he was he defensive guy at the Falcons?
I don't keep up with the Falcons.
I can't remember exactly what his position, but I think he went through some growing pains. He got a lot more mature, understands the game, understands coaching a little bit more. So I think he was a good pick. But like I say, the Falcons showed signs. I just don't know what.
You got to keep stacking.
You got to keep stacking. I think if they improve their defensive secondary, improve their linebacker core.
Well, they already fired the DC, so.
And maybe get another receiver, because that dude, London, is so tough. You know who he remind me of?
Who?
My buddy from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans.
Oh, man.
That's who he remind me of, because Mike Evans is tough.
What he hit? 11 or 13 straight?
I think it's 11. I think 11. He is so tough, and I think he reminds me a lot of him because of the build, the height, and just able to go catch the ball. So I think if they can keep that core together and they develop a relationship between Penix and Michael London and have another great receiver, and trying to find a way to get Pitts involved, I think the Falcons will be okay. They'll be okay.
You know, I know it was a lot better. That conversation this year than it was last year. So I know it really came from the heart. I just want to say that. But hey,
rise up,
Man to Man Sports Podcast. Y'all know how we do it. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Might get banned and might get replaced. I don't know. Elon Musk might buy it
unless there's a 11th hour save.
Whatever. So,
regardless of the fact, Man and Man still gonna be here. Y'all just
we
go
still
support
gonna
us.
be here on our other social media networks. YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe on our YouTube page, man.
Reserve.
Hey, we out.
Man and Man.